And we're live.
Hello.
Yeah, I know. They've been watching for a couple minutes
Oh,
now.
okay.
Just
That was interesting, wasn't it?
fiddle farting around here in the studio. Paws up, my cats and kittens, and welcome to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com. I am your host and humble narrator, Bone Doggie, and we are broadcasting live from the actually quite sunny and windy square here in lovely Denton, Texas, down on Hickory Street. And it is the Visitors Center Bureau building thing, 111 Hickory Street.
That's right. That's
right.
where we are.
In the Discover Denton Visitor Center Bureau thing, which I get wrong every show. I still don't know what they call this place. And
There's a sign right
the
there.
Visitor Information Center, but I don't believe that anyway.
Okay.
I thought it might be to the stop next door or somewhere. So, and
Discover
you're probably
Denton.
Discover Denton here at 111 Hickory Street at the Visitor Information Center Bureau. And you're probably wondering, my cats and kittens, who is this lovely lady that's sitting next to me? I haven't got a clue. She just walked in, plopped herself down, and we've been chatting. Actually, that's not true. This is the infamous and the famous Polly Maynard. And, yeah, applause. Give me applause. That guy over there is applauding. And that's why
I think he was shooing a mosquito away.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Oh, look, he's being assaulted, and he's still got a smile on his face. That's lovely. That's why we love Denton. But, yeah, we wanted to drag you in here for a long time. If you have not realized this, my cats and kittens, Ms. Maynard here is a staple of the Denton music community for a good while.
Since about 1492.
1492.
Yeah.
Come over, jumped off the boat, hopped over here, and just,
Discovered Denton.
That's right. Discovered Denton and plopped your guitar out there in the
That's
middle of the
right.
street and started wailing away. And what was fascinating about you when I met you, I had heard of you. Ooh, there's this Polly. And who's Polly? Well, Polly has one of the best bands ever in Denton. You had a knack for, making phone calls and getting the best musicians up on stage. But what was intriguing to me is you would get these people up on stage to play children's music. And that was kind of your shtick for quite a while, wasn't it?
It was my thing.
How did you just kind of float into that? I mean, or did you float into it?
Well, when I had kids, we got a lot of CDs, a lot of children's CDs, and some of them were really good, and a lot of them were just horrible.
Really?
I really didn't like to listen to them. It was a lot of sampled sounds. They didn't have very many live instruments on it.
Right.
And that was really weird to me because kids love sound. They love
That's
sound.
true.
And so, I don't
So
know.
the children's music that you were able to show your kids was just crap, and you decided you were going to do something better, was it?
Not all of it. I mean, some of it was really good,
some
but
of it,
some
okay.
of it was just.
Oh, come on. We're friends here. We can talk. Because I can tell you, a lot of the stuff that I've listened to is horrible. Who's this Raffi guy? I mean,
Well, there's this belief that kids love repetition. Kids love repetition. Well, they don't like the same line repeated over and over and over again any more than adults do. I don't think. I don't know. I didn't sense that from. I teach kids. I work with kids. I have kids.
Yes.
I mean, they might like to hear the same song several times, but I don't think that they.
In other words, a kid, especially listening, could be a little bit more sophisticated.
I think so.
I absolutely agree with that. I raised my children on Jethro Tull.
Right.
And aside from the occasional public outrage, they've done quite well for themselves, So, yeah, I think that young ones especially, excuse me, are susceptible to a little bit more. And one of the things that I love about going through, you've got, 3 CDs that I know of.
That's all.
Yeah, 3 CDs, and there was the Christmas CD, and then there was All Day Fun, and then the
Just all classical CD.
the classical CD.
guitar.
Is that the parachutes
The
or
parasol.
parasols? Parachutes. So D-Day in the studio with
Yeah,
Polly.
exactly.
But one of the things that I love about this collection of music that you put together was that you do reggae, you do rock, you do country. You hit a lot of styles, a lot of different styles.
Yeah, that was intentional. I hope to introduce kids to different styles, blues or rock or jazz or pop, whatever.
Yeah.
And then if they like it, I hope that their parents will help them seek out people who really do that kind of music. You really do Cajun music or really do polka
you did
or
really
whatever.
do. And that was the thing is when I met you, you were playing with members of Brave Combo. You were playing with some of the best musicians in town, really, at the time. And they were just, Polly called me, so we're going to go play. And I thought, wow, what kind of magic wand do you have that you can wave and drag these people up on stage?
I just think people here are very generous with their time and
They are
supportive. People have been really supportive of me, all the weird different things I've done. Yeah, kind of my goal with the songwriting for kids mainly was I wanted to write something that would entertain kids and wouldn't make parents go insane.
Yeah.
So the songs are educational as well as fun.
True. I love the dinosaur song. That is one of my favorites.
Thank you.
And basically, just a little knowledge about that, but. I've always wanted to ask you this, especially live on radio where you can't back out of it. Excuse me. Did you ever fear of falling into a niche and being stuck there? Because I know you have solo performances as well, and I've seen a couple of those, and you do drag a couple songs from your CDs in, but do you have a broader scope?
I don't think I ever really thought about it.
Really?
When I feel like doing something, I just do it for a while.
Right.
If I get tired of it, I don't do it anymore.
We're building towards the obvious. I can see the look on your face. Like, where is he going with this?
Well, I like to try all different things.
Right.
I do a lot of theater, and
you certainly do. You certainly do. The last time I saw this young lady on stage, My Cats and Kittens, she played a drunk for 3.5 hours. It was a long 3.5 hours, but it was quite entertaining. It was convincing.
Martha from Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Yes, yeah.
There was a beatdown.
No,
I enjoyed it.
You looked like you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It had to be fun.
It's the hardest show I've ever done.
But what I'm getting to is that your real roots, as far as I know anyway, is you're classically trained, and I guess that's what you did here. Did you go to North Texas?
Yeah, I have my bachelor's and master's degrees in classical guitar performance from North Texas.
Bachelor's and master's. Wow. So for 14 years, you're a student.
14 years. Yeah.
That's what I did in college.
Yeah.
It was the best 14 years of my life.
6 years of community college down the drain.
I know, right?
It didn't take me that long, but I was there for a while.
Right. It just, whatever possessed you. I mean, how far does guitar go back for you?
Oh, yeah, I was pretty young. I guess my piano was my first instrument, and then I played cello and recorder and different stuff.
Now, your folks were musicians as well? Okay, so you come from a musical family.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of did, is in a weird, offhand kind of way. My grandfather was a jazz clarinetist.
Oh, wow.
Under the table. And my father was a Jerry Lee Lewis rockabilly bass player in high school. And then I started playing bass, and it just kind of rolled on from there. But, so you grew up in a musical family. You went to school. You got your creds. You got street creds for classical guitar. And then you hit what?
Guitar. That's all I did. I taught guitar all day, and I played gigs all the time. But then after I had kids, I couldn't practice anymore. Right. And it was kind of really hard because I used to play all the time. And when you kind of lose your chops, it's really discouraging to play. And so I just started writing a lot of music.
Yeah.
I didn't have the time to practice, and I didn't have the mental focus or concentration for a lot of years to be able to play classical.
And to your credit, I mean, the kids were not spread out. I mean, you got two at the same time, and just like wham, there's my schedule down the drain.
Exactly. No, I love it. I mean, it's great. And it's kind of true. When one door closes, another one opens.
True.
I'd never written songs before. I'd never sung before.
Right.
Never played in a band.
Right.
I mean, the only ensemble experience I had really was with classical stuff.
So when you first did it, were you petrified?
Oh, I still am.
They still are. That's awesome. That's really good to know, because I think we got a gig, in 3 weeks?
We do.
It's okay, so we'll all be petrified together. No, when I first, I played bass for years and years and years, and I always got to hide behind, as much as I ever hide behind anything, but then when you're thrown out front, you know,
Yep.
and you take the mantle, so
Yeah.
to speak. It's a little bit of a different feeling, you know. It's just,
Yep.
holy cow! It's everybody's looking at me now.
Well, I always wanted to be in a band, but nobody ever asked me to be in one, so I had to start one myself.
You just put one together.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
I'll
so
do
you-
my own.
So you are a strict capitalist. I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh yeah, because there's a lot of money in
Yeah,
kids'
oh,
music.
my
I
God.
can tell you that. That's where the big dollars.
Well, you'd think, you know, every time I saw you, you'd have massive amounts of people in front of you. And of course, half of them were like, you know, knee biters and stuff like that. But their mom and daddies were there.
That's right.
So, yeah. But now you've graduated from, do you still do children's shows or?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm playing with some people, and we have some shows coming up this spring, kind of library gigs and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's fun.
So you can play in the what's the word? The word that comes to mind is innocuous, but I'm not sure that's really a good word to use. You play in the innocuous places like libraries and you play in alternative places.
Yep.
But I've seen you do your children's show in a bar.
Yeah, yeah,
And
we
that's
have.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The parents.
Good old Dan's, you know, Dan will open the doors for anybody really. And
Oh,
so-
thanks.
yeah.
Wow.
No, I mean audience-wise. Yeah, you got 10-year-olds, bring them on
Yeah,
in.
the parents liked that they could sit there and have an adult beverage, and the kids could run around and have fun.
Yeah.
So it worked. Well, you know, last month
Oh, yeah.
we played at the Black Box. My
Yes, we
band
did.
did a Valentine's show for kids, and then an hour and a half later, I turned around and did a cabaret show with you.
In a red wig. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, my cat and kittens here. I guess, I don't know, it was about 2 months now, maybe 2.5 months that we sat down, had a cup of coffee, and come up with this bizarre idea. And so we've done it. It's called The Collective. And basically what The Collective is, for those of you who don't know, is we book a gig and then hire different musicians to come and play it. And we did one show at Mabel Peabody's,
We did.
which is always a blast.
It was.
I love Mabel's. It's one of my favorite places in town,
That's fun.
just because they always make you feel at home, and the crowd is fun. And you know, we went up there and we did our thing. We had some dancers,
Good.
and then we took that to Black Box Theater and put it in a theater setting. And we so convinced ourselves that it was amazing that we're going to do this again, right?
We'll be doing it at the Arts and Jazz Festival.
That's right. That's
on
right.
April 30th,
Yes, Sunday night.
Sunday.
Sunday night at 6 o'clock, and I'm going to carry on the tradition. That's,
Carry on, my wayward son.
yeah, no, no Kansas, no Queen. Can you imagine me singing a Kansas song? Good Lord,
I think about it all the time.
do you really? God. Okay, no dust in the wind. It's not going to happen.
Not
I
gonna happen.
hate that when I turn it off every time I hear it. So,
Tell us how you really feel about it.
I love those guys. I grew up with them, actually. They popped on the radio, and somebody said, hey, these guys are from Kansas, and we're in Kansas. This is cool. and it was like their first or second album. And I eventually got to see them live for free in Addison, of all places. And you're sitting there, and you're looking at it, and you're going, oh, my gosh, there's like 150 years of musical experience up on that stage. And it was amazing. Took my breath away. And for free. So
Free's good.
I'll do that any day.
Yeah.
You know, my God, I'd go see Hall & Oates for free. So, so we'll go back to influences.
Okay.
Okay, and I wanted to talk to you about that. Is obviously the guitar music that you studied. Who were the big guitar guys from the Baroque, Renaissance, and you know,
My favorite composers?
the FM period of time. Yes.
Oh, I love Bach, of course.
Yeah.
We don't do a lot of Mozart on guitar. It's not.
Did he write guitar? No, Bach did though, right?
He wrote a lot of stuff for lute. The guitar as
Lute.
we know it today didn't really exist.
Which you
during
do
Bach's-
play a lute.
I do play lute.
Yes.
I played here
Yes.
one time in this room, lute.
Did you really?
Yeah.
There's a ghost of a
did.
lute. Explain to these guys what a lute is.
Lute, sort of predecessor to guitar. It's the instrument that you see angels playing all the time. You do.
Oh,
They're teardrop-shaped instruments with a rounded back,
But
like a
it's-
guild guitar.
but it's not a gourd body. It's usually
Well,
is it?
originally, those instruments date from about 4000 BC, so the very first ones were made from gourds.
or a turtle.
Yes, or turtles, exactly. They
Awesome.
would cover them with animal hide and then attach a bamboo neck or whatever.
Right.
And strings to it, but now they're wooden. And they range in size from really small to over 6 feet long.
Can you imagine?
I do. I have a friend who's 6'2", and his lute is taller than he is. It's
Really?
got 27 strings on it. Yeah.
Good Lord.
And if I stretch my hand as far as I can't reach all the way across from the lowest
Well,
base.
it's not. How do you play something like that? Do you do tap on or?
You play it like a guitar. I mean, you pluck the strings and
you just
pinch
have to
the frets.
flat straight across. I mean, the neck's got to be that wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not all that big. Mine has 13 strings.
Right.
They always have an odd number of strings.
And the neck on that's about that. Your neck's about that.
It's about like my neck.
It's about like that, right?
Yeah.
So we can grab it.
Yeah.
So, but
it's a stretch though, even that one.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
But you do play it beautifully, and you're the only one I know in town that actually does play a lute.
I don't really think there's people over at North Texas that with the Baroque ensemble.
No, they don't count.
Okay.
No, they don't.
I have a Baroque guitar as well, which is a 10
Oh,
string.
you gonna get it fixed? You see what
Bada
I did?
bing.
Yeah, I want to apologize, my cats and kittens, for that one.
It's too
We're
late.
really sorry.
It's not
So-
accepted.
I thought it was
From the
funny.
Baroque
Come on.
period.
From the Baroque period, which was 17...
About 1640 to 1750-ish.
Ish, about 100 years
Yeah.
in there. And really what it was kind of like the rock and roll of the Renaissance, wasn't it? I mean, they were trying new things, but with smaller ensembles and not so much larger,
Well, they didn't have that many instruments that could play in the same key.
Right.
They did the Pythagorean, the well-tempered clavier hadn't been invented yet. So
Oh, okay.
if you had a harp that played in C, you pretty much could only play in C, or an instrument that played in D.
Right.
They didn't have the modern.
No sharps and flats?
They
How
had
do you not be able to play in any key on a keyboard?
That's what the well-tempered clavier is that Bach
Right.
wrote. He wrote a set of preludes and fugues in all the keys because it was the first time they had an instrument that could play in all those keys without having to be retuned. So the modern scale that we use is kind of a what's the word? Compromise. It's a compromise.
Yeah, it is. I've heard it. So
No, really, it's
no,
true.
really, yeah.
So I mean, like that's why lutenists they have movable frets. They're not set into the fretboard like
Right.
a modern instrument.
And
so they would temper them to the key. If they're playing in D, they would move their F
it
sharps
up.
and C sharps a little higher, and they'd move.
Yes, there's a lot of Middle Eastern instruments as well that have movable frets and things like that, stringed instruments especially. So that's how you would do it if you didn't have an instrument that was built for it. Wow, that's weird. I never even thought about it. Have you thought about that? No, you haven't.
Well, I mean,
Welcome to
especially-
Geek Talk, but
Yeah,
still,
it's totally
it's
geeky. I mean, I
interesting.
could geek out for a long time, but yeah, the ensembles were small primarily because not that many instruments could really
Right,
gel together and be in tune at all.
right. That's wild.
That's
and then
part of
goes
it.
full circle and full circle and full circle again until you end up with a good 4-piece band with the screaming rock stars and
There you go.
stuff like that. It's a modern Baroque. Very cool. Yeah.
That'll work.
That'll work. You like that? You
I
like
don't
that?
think I gave a very good explanation.
I
but
thought it was a good stretch. I really did. Just trying to pull it out right here. So
well,
me.
like they didn't have the modern violin, viola, cello, and bass. I didn't know I was going to be talking about this tonight. I'll put my professor hat on. They didn't have those instruments, and they had gambas, which had they had frets.
right, right.
So the predecessors to the modern stringed instruments that make up the orchestra had frets, but again, you moved them around.
Right. So if you
The
want
viola da
sharpen-
gambas, and they came in 4 different sizes. The family came in 4 different sizes:
Oh, wow,
soprano,
okay.
alto, tenor, bass. But they still, if you were gonna change keys, you had to stop.
you had to
and
change instruments. Wow.
No, well, you had to retemper the instrument.
Yeah. God, that'd be a pain. No wonder so much Baroque is like drone music and puts everybody to sleep. But seriously though, it is. There's a drone quality
I'm
to
weeping.
it. You're gonna make me pay for that one, aren't you?
I'm gonna educate you.
Oh, good. I like that.
You on that.
So let's go to the other side of the planet, the dark side, theater.
Oh.
Yes, and you've been doing theater for quite a while here in town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you start that in college as well?
I did in high school, like everybody else.
Oh, okay.
And then, no, I didn't do it in college.
Yeah.
And I didn't ever really think I'd do it again. But shortly after I graduated, a friend of mine who actually owns the Ochre House Theater in Dallas just did a run of Dr. Baba Ganoush, which was amazing. Matthew Posey, who's been in a lot of movies.
Know the name, yes.
He opened a theater in Deep Ellum called the Deep Ellum Theater Garage and asked me to come open up the theater with him. It was great experience.
Oh, but
I
that was
love
fun.
experimental theater. Yeah, it was fantastic. The night we opened the theater, Deep Ellum really was just a twinkle in the eye down there.
I know. Do you remember that, though? I mean,
I remember.
Seriously, because
so
everybody was thought, this is going to be cool. This is going to be cool. And it was.
Mm-hmm.
It just, eventually, it was amazing.
yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff down there, but there wasn't. And he opened it up in an old break and clutch shop. And we built a little stage. And the night we opened the show, people didn't want to leave. They didn't leave the theater.
Awesome.
They didn't want to leave. So it took off.
So now you're tied up with a lot of community theater here.
Yeah, no, I just can't drive to Dallas anymore to do shows. But I love doing theater here. I think we do some really good shows here. And,
Agreed. I think so, too. I did not get to see Marat Sod, which is one of my favorites. It's kind of a twisted, Google it.
You think?
Yeah, it's a little on the dark side. But you played.
I was the Marquis de Sade.
You were Marquis de Sade.
I was.
Yeah.
I went to auditions. I love that play. And they had people audition one at a time, kind of privately. And they had some sides on the stage. And they said, well, there's a side for the Marquis and there's a side for the patient.
Mm-hmm.
And, most of the women are reading either the nurses or the patients. And I went, well, can I read the Marquis de Sade? Because I figured that's the only time I get to do it on stage. And I'm like,
right.
Yeah, I guess so. Go ahead.
And you just nailed it.
Yes,
So awesome.
yes, I did.
Awesome. Was it very challenging?
It was, yes.
Because it's kind of.
It's where we get the term sadomasochism from that.
Well, absolutely.
From the Marquis de Sade, he was.
It's a rough play.
Up.
It's a very rough play.
It's basically you're reenacting the French Revolution. That's what happens in the play.
But the idea of what they considered as they used theater for therapy.
Oh no, that really happened in the 17th century.
Yes.
Yeah.
In houses for the insane.
Yes.
Or whatever. In the asylums.
Wealthy theater goers would go to insane asylums, and the patients had to perform for them. It was therapy for the patients. Really, they were just laughing at them. Of course.
It was kind of a sideshow, which that's interesting. Is in those days that their entertainment. I mean, I think that's why John Merrick was so huge. And actually became a member of society himself, which is just that mindset, And of course, we have this. I think we have the same mindset. Really, it's just now it's on cable instead, or Netflix. I don't know. I've been watching some dark stuff on there. So,
well, the Marquis de Sade was high society. I mean, he was from
he was.
wealthy family, and then when he finally was imprisoned after repeated horrible offenses, after he was imprisoned in the Bastille, and when it fell, he got sent to this asylum.
Yes.
And he wrote this play for the inmates there.
Yeah.
So it was,
in a way, it's kind of like a really twisted Don Quixote. If you think about it, remember?
Oh, because they're imprisoned, all of them.
They're in the play, and they're doing the play in the prison.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't know. It's a stretch, too.
A play within a play.
Yeah.
A prison within a prison.
Okay. So.
Okay, yeah. So, and I'm going to be in Curtains in July.
Curtains?
Mm-hmm.
What is Curtains?
It's really cute. It's a musical murder mystery.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I love murder mysteries.
It's really cute. It's a cute show. Yeah.
Absolutely. And where's that going to, is it going to be at
Campus Theater?
Campus Theater?
Yep.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, David Hyde Pierce premiered it on Broadway.
Oh, okay.
They kind of wrote the character for him. It's a really that character is really
awesome.
It's a great detective character because he comes into somebody's been murdered at the theater, and so nobody can leave the theater because we're all suspects, and he comes in to investigate it, and you find out that he really wants to be on stage. He just wants to sing, and it's really cute.
Oh my gosh! So it's actually an audience participation type.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
We haven't started rehearsals yet, but anyway.
So you don't know, but well, we're letting the cat out of the bag now, aren't we? So, all right. Well, I'll tell you what, my dear.
All right.
We are going to actually give you the stage and let you perform a little bit and show and do your thing.
Okay. What do you want to hear?
Oh, surprise me.
Okay.
Surprise
I'm gonna
me.
do Kansas.
You gonna do Kansas? You gonna don't do Dust in the Wind. I will throw you out of here. I swear to God. I love you.
I'm gonna do like
but
a
it's not gonna
45-minute version of it.
Oh.
It'll make you sit there and listen to it.
After which we'll be getting a divorce immediately. So, or maybe I'll just show up on the grassy knoll and wait for you to come by.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't do
Talk
that.
about dark.
That's kind of dark. I know. It's a marquee thing. Seriously. All right, my cats and kittens. Well, we are going to take a few minutes here, take a break, and bring the lovely Ms. Polly Maynard back to entertain you with her voice and her fingers. And we'd like to remind you that we are listening to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com here in the lovely Visitor Information Center thing.
Discover
Bureau
Denton.
here, Discover Denton building here on 111 Hickory Street. That part I can remember.
111.
111, 111, or 111.
Can you dig it?
Yeah, I can dig it. Can you dig it?
You know I can.
Wow, I just fell right into that. You did that, didn't you? This is not Polly's first Doggie Time. In fact, this is your third.
Is it?
Yes.
I thought you'd have a script for me like
did
you
too.
usually do.
Oh, life has changed. And the reason it changed is because of the camera.
Oh.
Yeah. We used to do total radio back in the days, and we would do these skits, my cats and kittens, and
They were brilliant.
They were hysterical fun. Remember the Sherlock Holmes, which
How
is
could I forget?
that was a wonderful situation. All right, we're regressing.
Okay.
All right, my cats and kittens, we're going to take a break, and then the lovely Polly is going to entertain you for a few songs. So hang in there, and we will be right back. And we are back. Pause up, my cats and kittens. We are back at Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com, and we are broadcasting from the lovely Visitor Information Center Bureau Denton Discover Denton thingy on Hickory Street, right?
Yes.
That's going to crack you up every time. And we are joined by the lovely and talented Polly Maynard here, and Polly has so graciously agreed to grace us with a few songs.
Yeah, thank you.
And so you can introduce the songs as they go.
Okay.
Tell the cats and kittens out there a little bit about them. Okay. And I'm just going to turn this over to you. It's all you, honey.
Thanks, Doggie.
All
I
right.
appreciate you having me.
All right.
And thanks, Billy.
This is Polly Maynard.
Thank you. So last week was St. Patrick's Day, and I'm still kind of celebrating, so thought I'd play a couple of Irish tunes. This is St. Anne's Reel. It's really a fiddle tune. I'm obviously going to play it on guitar. Irish tunes. This is Napoleon Crossing the Rhine and also the Swallowtail Reel. Kind of weird to have a song about a French general crossing a German river, but Irish people really, really loved Napoleon. They thought he was going to save them. So they wrote a lot of songs to honor Napoleon. Cut that one. Cut that one, please. I'm not live, am I? You told me I wasn't live. Okay, this is a dance by a really famous guitarist named Agustin Barrios Mongaray, and it's a dance from his native village. It's called Danza Guarani. That's really old. Published in 1675 by a Spanish guitarist, Gaspar Sanz, and it's called Canarios. It's a little jig, actually. Thank you. So, a couple more? Okay. This is a little miniature by Francisco Tárrega. He's kind of considered the grandfather of the modern classical guitar. This piece is called La Alborada, which means daybreak or first dawn of the day, but it has a little nickname, Cajita de Música, which means the music box. another one by Taraga, and this is called Rosita. It's a polka.
There we go. Okay, we're back on the air, and we are back, my cats and kittens, with Polly Maynard, and well done. That was beautiful. That was absolutely gorgeous.
Thanks.
And so, watching the fingers fly and just all of that, and just getting all kinds of ideas now. So you're just cooked. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, baby. You got so much work to do.
Yes, I do.
No, but that was just very lovely, and I love the last tune that you played. That was when you shot down to that F and just stretched all across the room, and I went, ouch. No problem, right? You just nimble fingered.
Maybe.
All right. Well, thank you so much, my love, for coming and doing this. It's been brilliant. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And now what we're going to do, and you are familiar with this one, this part of it, is we are going to say, this is Polly Maynard, and you are tuned into, because we are also visual as well as audio. And so you are tuned into Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com.
Got it.
And I will ask you the question, and you will answer.
Okay.
You got this, don't you?
Hey, Denton, you are tuned in to Doggie Time live on DentonRadio.com. That was it, right? That was it, right?
That was it. That was perfect.
Oh.
I'm going home. Show's yours. I'm just going. All right. One more time. We'll do it one more time. There you go.
Hey, everybody. You're tuned into Doggie Time.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Oh.
Yeah, don't forget that part. This is most important.
I got it this time.
Right. You got it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Polly Maynard. You're listening to Doggie Time live on DentonRadio.com.
Can you dig it? No, I'm supposed to say that. I'm supposed to say, can you dig it? I've been doing that for years. I'm going to do it again, okay?
Yes.
One more time.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Okay.
Inner circles. All right. And shoot.
Hey, everybody. I'm Polly Maynard, and you're listening to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com.
Can you dig it?
Yes, I can.
I knew that you could. All right. And we would like to remind you, my cats and kittens, that the lovely Ms. Maynard here and yours truly, Bone Doggie, will be on stage together at 6 o'clock at Denton Arts and Jazz, Sunday, April 30th, on the Celebration stage.
I think
you're looking at me sideways.
I don't know where we are.
It's April 30th. It's
Celebration
we're by the post
stage
office, right? Over there by the post office. That's right. That's the only stage they let me on.
It's going to be great.
Because if I fall off of that stage, I'm close to McKinney Street, and they can just boot me out into the street, and nobody knows any better. But that's where we're going to be.
We should
6
come
o'clock.
out. It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. We are going to have with us the lovely and talented Gary Chase, the lovely and talented Matt Hall from Molotov Dogs, Brian King from Contingency Clause and Bounce House Cathedral, which is the greatest name for a band. From the Hickory Street Hellraisers and Puddin' Matt Cochran. And we're going to throw in a couple dancers, I think, as well. A little bit of a
belly dancers.
Shimmy Shimmy Belly Dance, yes, from the lovely Hella Vidal and Shimmylicious. So it's going to be quite the show, my cats and kittens. And we're just going to have a good time. Just going to have a good time. I can't wait to do this again. So thank you again.
Thanks for having me.
Love you.
Love you.
And we love you guys.
Love you guys.
We are going to be back here in a few minutes with the lovely and talented Richard Gilbert is going to grace the room here. And so we're going to drag him in and throw him to the wolves just like we do everybody else. So y'all hang around. Don't go away. We'll be right back. So pause up, my cats and kittens, and welcome to the second hour of Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com. Not bad, not bad. We are here in the not so sunny, but definitely still windy, Hickory Street in lovely downtown Denton at the Visitor Center Information Bureau room thingy. 111 Hickory Street. We're here. If you drop by, you can look through the window, and here we are. We'll wave at you as you saunter by. We wave at sauntering people. Yeah. If you're going to do something else, then, yeah, we'll just wave at you. And this hour, my cats and kittens, we are joined by the lovely and talented Richard Gilbert.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Yes.
Good to be here.
And it is good to have you.
Good to
we
be
have
here.
not done this.
No, we have not.
For all the years and
Yeah.
everything. And it's about bloody time that we did. Mm-hmm. When I ran into you, I hadn't seen you for a while, and when I ran into you, the first thing that my brain said to me is, idiot, why haven't you had Richard on the show? And I thought, that's a brilliant idea. I need somebody on the show, so I'll call you. You're easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Picked it right up.
Yeah, I'd go over there and do the show over at Cartwright's,
Yeah.
right across the street. It doesn't matter to me.
As a matter of fact, you had just finished Barley and Board.
Yes, just played a 2-hour set at Barley and Board, 4:35 to 6:35, and
Right.
got my nice meal and ate and.
You play for
sauntered over
tips,
here.
or how does that work?
They pay you.
Ooh, do they really?
Yeah, they do.
Awesome.
Yes, they do.
Awesome.
They're very, very good people over there. Very good people.
One of the things that I love about what you do is you perform almost exclusively, not totally exclusively, but almost exclusively solo.
Yes.
You have. I've seen you with, you drag Jess Thompson out every now and then
Yeah,
and
Jesse
blow
and
the
I used
dust
to
off
play
of him.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, and he plays bass for you, and I think who else have you had on there?
I've had Ellie Meyer do
Ellie?
backup vocals for me.
The lovely and talented Ellie Meyer, producer extraordinaire,
Yeah.
who also gets out and does the thing.
Yeah.
And there's Polly. Is Polly leaving? All right, she just apologized. She's like,
That's okay.
damn, I was going to try to get her to buy me alcohol later on.
No.
It never works. It never works.
I already did that at Barley and Board.
Did
so
you really?
I'm good there. Yeah.
I just miss out on everything, I swear. Dollar late, day short, I swear. But anyway,
Yeah.
back to the real world is we met. I don't know if we met at open mic or not.
We met randomly through my son.
Through your son, Ryan, who I knew before
when
you.
You were doing something over here on Locust with either film or music editing or whatever. I can't remember what it was. I just saw you then.
Right.
And then I think we officially got introduced through the open mic.
At Banter back in the day.
Yeah.
And Ryan and I, we had actually gigged a couple times. I remember the Harry Potter gig that we did at the mall.
Yeah.
We did the opening for, I don't know, it was one of the books that was released. And Ryan had actually been showing up to the open mics a little bit. And then you come out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
And
thanks
the
to
next
Ryan.
thing where is Ryan now?
He's in South Korea with his wife and my grandchild, so we're hoping to
that's
get
awesome.
them back here in the States.
Is he teaching English? Or?
Teaching English,
Yeah.
yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And he's thinking about coming back, or
He's not thinking about it. He wants to get back here. The whole family wants to get back over here. So
to move, or
Yeah.
not just to visit, but to move.
to move to
That-
back
wow.
to the States.
That could
yeah.
be entertaining. Ryan Gilbert, for those of you who don't know my cats and kittens, is one of those ghastly, irritating people that can literally make noise out of any musical instrument that they pick up.
I'm his father, and I think I taught him 5 chords, and then he just passed me a long time ago.
He just
He can-
took
he can-
off.
he he picked up some bagpipes and started learning how to play he learned how to play the bagpipes.
Well, I had watched him play the Irish flute.
Yeah.
You know,
and what's the thing, the didgeridoo thing?
The didgeridoo,
Yeah, he literally can play. Yeah, he can play any instrument if you give it to him.
Get noise out of it.
Right.
But you're a little bit more specialized.
Guitar.
Guitar.
And
voice.
I'm okay at it.
Yeah. Well, you've done pretty well. I mean, in the past few years, you've been busy.
Yeah, I have.
And you don't play bars very often.
No.
You do coffee shops.
Coffee shops. Actually, I've been doing some brew houses.
Mm-hmm.
I did one in Grapevine a few months back.
Right.
I've done taps and caps on occasion.
Right.
And Bearded Monk, and also I've been working on festivals and things like that.
Right.
Trying to get out of DFW and
Do you do like Grapevine and Irving?
I haven't done anything out. I do a thing in Bishop's Art District at a place called Eno's Pizza Tavern.
Right.
And I've been doing that off and on about once because it's hard to get a gig there.
Really?
About once every 4 months for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm playing there next Thursday and then again in May. And but it's just been, it's just been trying to figure out how I want to do it.
Right.
Do I want to do restaurant gigs, or do I want to do more intimate settings? And I would love to do both.
Right.
So that would be great.
You kind of have the time to do that, or do you? I know you have a pretty heavy. You actually have a really heavy gig schedule.
Yeah, it stays at least 6 to 8 a month.
Wow.
And but I'm trying to get, and nothing against Denton, but you don't want to oversaturate yourself in one town.
Right.
And so some of the gigs are a little more like the Barland Board, where it's not like there's people coming there to eat. So your background music.
Your background music, but it's kind of like more like a house gig type thing.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. But the ones where you're actually playing on stage to people like Harvest House or if I ever get a gig at Dan's, places like that where you actually have a stage, that's really what I would like to do more of. Yeah.
And you have, did you release the second CD?
The third CD.
The third CD.
I Love the Night is the third one. It was On the Run, Faraway Girl, and I Love the Night. Okay, because I think the last time I talked to you, you were just about to release. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know if it was 2 or 3. Yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah. That was awesome. And are you doing, when you go into the studio, are you doing basically what you do live, or you're not dragging in a monstrous number of musicians? No, I've kind of learned through people who listen to me and what they want to keep it very minimal, because they seem to. I mean, most people just want to hear me and my guitar, right? Because of the music that I write, but every once in a while I'll get lucky and I'll have somebody like Melissa Routley come in to do background vocals, or Jesse Thompson do upright bass. Had a guy named Michael Purser do violin on the run, and so you can pick and choose, and you can be still. And I love the way you used the word minimalism, because you really have capitalized on that and really, turned it into your own thing. Yeah, and again, I mean, it's not all through a grand scheme. It's more of I do not play. I don't strum in tune. I mean, in rhythm. Right. And so it's more with feeling than in rhythm. So nobody can play drums with me anyway. So it's like the only thing I can get is either a violin or upright bass. So that's the best I can get. Funny that you mentioned that. It really is, because I don't even know if you know. You probably don't even know about this, but Jess Thompson and I have a discussion, and is that Richard's great, but Richard doesn't have a time signature. You just kind of. I do what I and it's not. It's me. I mean, I've been doing it since I was 14 years old. Right. But I've always played by myself. I never played with other people. Right. So I
I never studied music. I just found chords, and then and they're chords, but I couldn't even tell you what some of them are. I just invented sounds that come out of my guitar. And
I have that issue as well.
So, and that's just the way it happened. And when you've done it for as long as I've been doing it, 40 some odd years. Yeah. It's really hard to sit there and go, oh, here's a metronome, and you need to play in this. And
my God.
I just get like, I'm having fun doing it the way I'm doing it.
Right.
And if I can get somebody like Ellie or Melissa or somebody like that to do background vocals, if I can get somebody like Jesse Thompson or Michael Purser or Charlotte Franklin came up on stage once and did violin.
That's awesome.
And, so the string instruments really add to it. So if I could just get something like that, I would be very, very content.
Yeah. But it's, I think that it adds a lot to what you do and gives it much more of a personal touch. The 2 or 3 very, very old Delta bluesmen that I met and played with, had the privilege of playing with actually, they same way. There was no time signature. And as a matter of fact, one in particular was Honey Boy Edwards. He'd play a 12-bar blues, and then he'd play a 15-bar blues, and then he'd play an 8-bar blues, and he'd do it all the same song.
Yeah.
And then he'd hit the lead, and he would go through maybe 6 or 8 measures, and then bam, he's back to the 1. So you got to be kind of on your toes to accompany something like that. But the thing is, it was very, very much Honey Boy.
Yeah.
And I think you have really capitalized on it. You've managed to really harness that solo performance thing.
Yeah, and it is good too, because people who do what Jesse does on upright bass, or a Charlotte, or anybody that plays the string instrument, that gives them a little bit of a freedom to.
Well, those are improvers.
They can come in and just like. I keep saying Charlotte because she came up on stage that day, never practiced, and did 5 songs with me and Jesse up there on stage at Harvest House, and everybody thought she had been playing with us for months.
Charlotte has that happiness.
Yeah.
I've jammed with her a couple times, and we just kind of looked at each other and said, "This is D, right?"
Yeah.
And they just went for it.
Yeah, and she just looked at me, looked at the guitar, and watched me play, chord changes and stuff, and where I had the fret.
You gotta love people who can do that. And
makes me sound better.
It does. It does.
I'm impressed by it. I wish, and I know I could still learn to read music and all that, but like I said, it depends on what you're doing with your career and where you want to take it.
Exactly. It's so funny. I went to Irish Fest, and there was a clinic put on by a guy that played professionally and all of that, and the room was packed. And question and answer came up, and this lady asked him, she said, "Do you read music?" And in a roundabout way, he told her basically that the music that we play in Southern Ireland, we use the oral tradition where we just get together and just jam it and just learn it that way. And you heard the entire room sigh of relief. It was like, oh my God, thank God I don't have to read music.
Yeah. And a perfect example is my son Ryan.
Yeah.
He doesn't read music. He plays everything, but he can listen to something and hear it.
Yes.
And he can pick it up and play. He used to go when he was 13 or 14, take the low whistle down to Sundance Square in Fort Worth and play the theme song to the Titanic. And he would pick
it up and
$30, $40, $50 in tips, and these little 13, 14-year-old girls would come up and go, "Oh my God," But he got to play with somebody who was really big in at one of the big folk Irish festivals, the one in UNT, UTA.
Right.
I can't remember the guy's name now, but he asked Ryan to come up and play penny whistle with him, and Ryan came up and played penny whistle with him.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. That is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Definite Irish roots there. Hey?
It'd be better if I could remember the guy's name. But, oh, okay.
Pick one. We'll So, you're going to be at Arts and Jazz?
I'll be at Arts and Jazz on April 30th, center stage at 5 p.m.
Center stage, is that the concrete stage?
I guess.
I can't remember.
I think so. I think I played it last year.
Right.
It's a good. I like it. It's a.
Is that the concrete stage?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, and then April 21st, going back a week, I'm playing Thin Line Fest at GDAC at 6 p.m.
Right.
I'll be at Eno's Pizza Tavern in Dallas next Thursday at 7 p.m. I'll be at Folk Festival this coming Saturday, March 25th at 7 p.m.
Wow.
Playing there.
The Folk Festival. Who's putting that on?
I'm going to say it wrong, and Matt Grigsby's going to get mad at me. But the songwriter Guild.
We don't care if Matt Grigsby gets mad. We've been spending our life ticking that guy off. Actually, that's not true, Matt. We love you. You know we do.
The Songwriters Guild started working on it months ago, and they got it over at Jago House.
Yeah.
And it's going to be kind of like the Jago Fest. One stage outside, one stage inside.
Right. And this is a house gig, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be I think it's.
Excuse me.
Again, he'll probably get upset, but I think it's 2 days. I think it's Friday and Saturday.
Right. You can find it on Facebook.
Yeah, you find it on Facebook.
It's on there.
Yeah.
And there's all you guys are going to be there.
It's going to be cool because there's going to be a lot of people that I haven't seen from Banner in a long time.
Right.
Cody Maxwell.
Cody Maxwell's going to be up there.
Yeah.
And Jess will be up there. I think Levi Cobb is playing.
Yeah.
We did a gig with Levi Cobb about a week.
They're playing. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, they're playing. Jacob Furr out of Fort Worth is playing. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah, Jacob Furr's playing Friday night. Who's another? We had him at the old song swap thing at Banner, and he's an amazing songwriter.
That's cool.
Isaac Hoskins is playing. There Saturday. I think his set is outside after mine. So.
Right.
It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of good musicians. And
so that's going to be called the.
I think it's just called the Denton Folk Festival.
Denton Folk Festival, right?
Yeah.
Look it up on Facebook.
Which is cool. I mean, we've got.
I like it.
We got everything else. Let's have a folk festival.
Certainly do.
And let's build on that. And see if we can make it into. Yeah, I think it's a good place. I think Jago House is a good place for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like the house gigs?
I love the house gigs. In fact, I ran into a friend of mine, Tina Powell, at Barley and Board, and she's she's going to get me connected with some house gigs in some other towns.
They're oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I know there's a good 6 or 8 of them here in Denton.
They're okay for a guy who plays, a musician who plays in a lot of coffee house and restaurant gigs where you're kind of background music and you're used to the chatter and the talking and you don't let that bother you. You just play your thing and do your thing.
Do your thing.
When you do the things like the house gigs and everybody, and I've done a few of them, and it's a dead silence.
Oh my gosh!
It can be very intimidating.
Do you look at your audience and say, "Could you guys just talk amongst yourselves a little bit?"
Actually, there's a story. I played a house gig in Rockwall a few years back, and they all come in and they're sitting down and they got their coffee and nobody has a laptop and they're all sitting in their chairs. They're like 15 or 20 people, and I started playing. And it's dead silent. And
oh my God!
Finished the song and they clap. And so I played the next song. And I said, look, I explained to them how intimidating it is. I said, so could you two guys right here, could y'all kind of talk back and forth during this next song so I can just hear?
Give me some background music.
Give me a little background noise.
There you go.
But
wow,
so that's something that's something that I need to do because when you're doing a restaurant gig, you're playing your music. You're still doing the best you can. You're doing what you and you're still wanting to catch somebody's ear to listen to what you're doing.
Yeah.
But when you are catching everybody's ear and they're all listening to what you're doing, you have to be really good on your game.
Yeah, you do. And it can be. And I remember the first gig I did, which was an open mic, solo. Mm-hmm. I was always a bass player. I was always in the background, and well, as background as I ever was.
Right.
But still, you were bass. You were over here with the drummer, and you did your thing. But the first time I was up there by myself, I was petrified.
Yeah.
It's just like, holy cow, because I look out there and everybody's looking at me.
Yeah.
And I'm going, okay, that's cool, but at the same time, now this is a different world.
Yeah.
I'm holding a different instrument, and I'm expected to sing-ish.
Well, even like you play Harvest House, and you can have 350 or 400 people in there, but it's still a noisier environment because people are in there to have a good time, drink and talk. But and the music is there there is a group of people a certain amount of people that are actually listening, and then there's people that it's just they are listening, but they're catching it.
Yeah.
So you still have that chatter going on. So even in a situation like that you are playing on stage in front of an audience.
Yeah.
It's so when it's very intimate, especially I played Sundown at Granada couple of Sundays ago, and I had it was a light night. I maybe had 20 people there.
Right.
But they were all quiet. They were all listening, and it was nice.
That I can imagine is nice, and it works out for you because I will say this: big background music most of the time, but when it does finally come out, your lyrics and your songs are very lyric heavy, and you tell stories.
Yes,
you're a storyteller, which is my favorite. I mean, I love storytellers anyway. Even if they're not true and they sound true, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's like you're singing a song at any place, and there's a lot of talk chatter, and in my head I'm going, did you not just hear that line that I sang?
Really?
That line was amazing. I wrote it.
I wrote that line. That's right.
Didn't you hear that?
I stole that line.
Yeah. I stole that line 30 years ago from a kid's book. But
I got to say this right now. One of the I listen to a lot of Tom Waits right now, and one of the greatest lines that I have heard forever was, "In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king." And that's just stuck. I want to tattoo that on somebody's body, not necessarily mine, but still, just on the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king.
That's a good line.
That's a good line. You have those.
Yeah, that's why I want to do more of the intimate gigs where people can actually hear my lyrics, and they can make judgment on it. I mean, the thing as a musician, and 100% of the people are not going to necessarily like your music. If I get 20% of the crowd liking my music, I'm happy.
Well, it's the 80-20 rule.
Well, and in fact, I was just talking to that same individual, Tina Powell, and she was. I was saying that I think, to me, when I have a 20-something-year-old, male or female, come up to me and say, "I love that song. I love your lyrics."
Yeah,
it means more to me than anything, because that means I'm crossing generations.
You are crossing generations.
I'm not just playing to 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds. I'm playing to 20-year-olds and sometimes younger, and they come up to me and it doesn't happen like all the time, but when it does happen, it means a lot.
It's funny is you and I are both same generation, and it's odd, especially being in this town. Most of our peers and most of our friends and most of our associates and a lot of our band members are like half our age.
Yeah, literally half our age. Yeah,
and in a way that is very, very cool.
Yeah,
I love it because I get that perspective.
Right.
And
well, it keeps you thinking young too.
And here lately at LSA in the open mic, I mean, I've got a pack of youngins that, I mean, they start at 11 and go to 17 or maybe 20, and I've got a whole passel of these guys, and they're brilliant. They're wonderful.
But it's great that you have a place for them to be able to play.
Exactly.
When Maynard disappeared, that was the biggest thing that they have great open mics at some other venues, but under 21 can't go.
That's right.
So it's great that you got this, so that
we've had a great response. We've had a great response from them, and a lot of them have made it into this room. But it's very, very cool to work with the youngins, and every now and then you get one that pops up and says, "Wow, I just heard this new guy named Jimi Hendrix. Have you ever heard him before?" And I'm going, "Oh my God, yes, I have heard him. He's pretty awesome. Hey, I want to do one of his songs." Yeah. But our peers, our friends, those our loved ones, they're like half our age. But that's cool,
Oh, I
get out there and tromp around with the youngins.
Most of my best friend of the world is 28.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I know how old I am. I know it doesn't make you think, "Oh, I'm a kid," but it does keep you thinking young, and it keeps you motivated.
Keeps you motivated. That's a very good way to put it.
Yeah, because you want to. I figure if I'm, if I really want to play a place, I can play there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna keep bugging them until they either tell me to stop bugging them, or they give me a gig,
or they give you a job.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
But it's like I'm fortunate enough that if I don't get a gig every month, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I don't have to sit there and worry about that income, but that's not necessarily why I do it. I do like to be compensated for when I play, but I like to play. I love to play the music.
Exactly.
And I don't know what I would do if somebody told me that I'm sorry, we're not booking you anywhere in the state of the United States anymore, anywhere in the U.S. anymore.
So
if they said that to me, I would be like, I'd be lost.
I'd defect, is what I'd do.
Yeah.
I'd go find someplace.
I'd go to Sweden.
That's right. Speaking of which, I think it's about time that we did unleash you for a little while.
Okay.
Would you like to do that?
Sure.
I would appreciate it greatly.
Sure.
So what we're going to do, my cats and kittens, is we're going to take a little break here, and producer extraordinaire Ellie Meyer is going to set up the stage, and we're going to let Brother Richard here do his thing. So y'all don't go away. You are tuned in to Doggy Time on DentonRadio.com, and we will be right back. Push the button, Max. And we are back, my cats and kittens. Welcome to Doggy Time on DentonRadio.com. And it's about time that we turned over the studio to Richard Gilbert, who's going to grace us with a few tunes here. So without further ado, I'm just going to hand this over to you and go chase people around the street while you're doing that.
All right, great.
All right, have a good time. We'll see you in a few tunes.
Okay,
if you would be so kind as to introduce your songs to the cats and kittens out
Yes,
there.
I will do that.
You've done this drill. Why am I telling you this? Listen to the guy. You'll love him. He's wonderful.
Okay, this first one is a new song I wrote called I'll Never Give Up on Love. When I think I've got control, it'll hit me all at once. And I try to let it go. Sometimes it's way too much. I'll never give up on love, long as the world keeps on spinning. The stars keep shining up above. Never gonna let it get me down. I see lovers holding hands on the avenue side by side. I would cross the desert sand and fall in love one more time. I'll never give up on love, as long as the world keeps on spinning. The stars keep shining up above. I'm never gonna let it get me down. I'm never gonna let it get me down. Sometimes it's hard to close my eyes. Too much world to hold on to. But I've learned to realize only love can be true. I know she's somewhere out there, hiding in some quaint cafe. And She's holding on to those feelings like I'm feeling every day. And I'll never give up on love as long as the world keeps on spinning. The stars keep shining up above. Never gonna let it get me down. I'm never gonna let it get me down. Oh, I'll never give up on love. Baby, don't you give up on love. All right. This next one is called Home. Truth be told, lost my way, took a wrong turn, looking for my way back. I can still feel the burn. Keep your faith in me. I know it's been too long, looking for the light, listening to the night song. It's been a long, long road. I'm so tired of living alone. Feel my heart growing cold. Time to get back home. Innocence left in a knapsack on some desolate road. I'm just a bystander, observing stories I've been told. You will hear me coming. I remember your name. Tell me all the good times, how nothing has changed. It's been a long, long road. I'm so tired of being alone. Feel my heart growing cold. Time to get back home. Sleep, sleep, come to me. Take me in your sweet embrace. Let me go gently when the moon is gone and the sun in his place. I will travel a little further, a little closer to you today. Picking up the memories in my mind, what you used to say. It's been a long, long road. I'm so tired of being alone. Feel my heart growing cold. Time to get back home. Yeah, it's time to get back home. Baby, I'm coming home. Time to get back home. And this next one is called Ferris Wheel. ginger girls on Ferris wheels, slipping through my windowsill. We talk about that time in France, when I thought I could dance. Love is love, that's all I know. Rise above and let it go. Maybe there's someone above. Maybe we'll take a chance with love. Find a place we'll know. Maybe at a picture show. And holding hands and making plans. That's all I really need to know. And love is love, that's all I know. Rise above and let it go. Maybe there's someone above. Maybe we'll take a chance with love. Nighttime stars, they fade away. Seaside shops in slow decay. But when I'm sitting next to you, I've always got a better view. Love is love, it's all I know. Rise above and let it go. And maybe there's someone above. And maybe we'll take a chance with love. Ginger girls on Ferris wheels, was living through my windowsill. Talk about that time in France, when I thought I could dance. We'll talk about that time in France, when I thought I could dance. Thank you. This last one is called Special. Though you think you're someone special, though your time on earth is short, and though it's not official, I expect full report. Take up your arms and blow your horn, Grab your scepter and your crown. One person dying, one person born. Turn that frown upside down. Tell me all your stories. Line them neatly in a row. And with eyes like Peter Lorre, never be the status quo. Take up your arms and blow your horn. Grab your scepter and your crown. One person dying, one person born. Turn that frown upside down. I like to think it all has meaning. Years and years of endless words. That my life's not careen into conversations overheard. Take up your arms and blow your horn. Grab your scepter and your crown. One person dying, one person born. Turn that frown upside down. One person dying, one person born. Turn that frown upside down.
Your songs were excellent, by the way. Thank you.
You so much. Appreciate it.
It was
Thank
awesome.
You.
Two new ones, two old ones.
2 new ones, 2 old ones.
Yeah. So that was very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming out and doing this.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Seriously, I enjoyed it. It's good to catch up with you.
We will do this. We will do this again.
Yeah.
For sure. And we really need to drag you out to open mic every now and then, and just I don't know what your Monday nights are like, but we do the special guest spot, which is a 30-minute set.
Oh, that'd be great.
You can come up and show the youngins how it's done.
Well,
which
they may
cool.
be showing me,
There's a little bit of give and take as far as that goes.
Yeah, there's some talented talent out there.
There
That
is.
makes sense. It's talented talent.
There
yes.
is. Well, we keep ours in a bottle.
Yeah.
So we drag it out every now and then and throw it out there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and record a bump, which is my prerogative to have everybody do when they do a Doggy Time show. And basically all you're going to do is, this is Richard Gilbert. You are tuned into Doggy Time on DentonRadio.com. And I will say, can you dig it? And you can say, I can dig it. And then I will say, whatever. And we'll just have that for prosperity or prostratedness, however we use it. So we're going to give that a whack. And so are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Do it.
This is Richard Gilbert, and you are tuned in on Doggy Time at DentonRadio.com.
Can you dig it?
Yeah, I can dig it.
I knew that you could. Wow, you did that just like the first time.
I practiced it at home.
Did you really? Okay, that's no fair, because I certainly didn't. So. Okay, we're going to do it one more time just in case.
Okay.
Just in case,
Okay.
because there's always a train wreck.
Okay.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, we kind of live for train wrecks.
Yeah.
We really do. Yeah, so, all right, here we go. And
this is Richard Gilbert, and you are tuned in on doggytime.com at dentonradio.com.
well, it's not doggytime.com.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't afford a website. These people don't pay me for anything. So
You are tuned in to Doggy Time.
That's the one.
At dentonradio.com.
That's the one.
Okay.
Okay. Try it again.
This is Richard Gilbert, and you are tuned in to Doggy Time at dentonradio.com.
Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
I knew that you could. See, that's awesome. If people do it perfect the first time, you get them to do it a second time, and it's a train wreck.
Yeah.
And it's all.
Yeah.
And those are
Then
the
it's
ones that
like
are more than funny.
You're tuned in to
Something-
Ellie Meyer's Autumn Amber on
That's
three-legged
threeleggedmule.com. All right, my cats and kittens. Well, we have been doing Doggy Time at dentonradio.com, and we are going to pop back in probably in a couple of weeks here for another wild and woolly show of Denton musical and charm and excellence and stuff like that. And we would like to thank producer extraordinaire Ellie Myers for pushing our button. Ellie, we couldn't survive without this woman. As much of a tyrant as she is. Seriously. She's oh, that's a new hand signal. That's pretty awesome. I guess that means we're number one. There you go. All right, my cats and kittens, thank you once again. Thank you so much for tuning in to dentonradio.com. This has been Doggy Time, and we will see you in a couple weeks with a whole new slew of radio and visual excellence. So said. I think that's about it, right?
That's it.
We'll go find a bar.
We've got a bar.
All right, we're going to find a bar. Until next time, ciao bella. Good night.